For over a century, physics has been driven by an obsession: finding a theory of everything. Scientists have hunted for a single mathematical equation that explains the absolute foundation of reality. There is a strong possibility that this pursuit contains a logic error. Compressing the ultimate source of reality into a formula assumes that the source and the math are the same type of thing. A framework called TCGS-SEQUENTION proposes a different architecture. It suggests that reality originates from a complete, non-temporal, four-dimensional source known as counterspace. In this model, our three-dimensional physical universe is an operational shadow. We see the movements of matter and light, but we are only seeing the projection cast by that 4D source. Because our instruments and our bodies exist entirely within this 3D shadow, our equations can only measure the properties of the projection. They can never become the object casting it. This boundary is defined by the extrinsic constitutive law, or ECL. At its deepest level, the ECL refers to origin mind, the underlying ground that makes reality intelligible. Within the framework, origin mind is a technical term for the source-level unity of information. It is the raw condition that makes the universe readable and consistent. The impossibility of a final equation mirrors limits found in logic. Just as Kurt Gödel showed that formal math cannot prove every truth about itself, the ECL suggests that a shadow-level equation cannot exhaust its own source. This creates a firewall between the map and the territory. Mathematics functions as a shadow cartography. Mistaking an equation for the source of reality is a category error. While our mathematical maps are extraordinarily precise, they are limited by their nature. They represent selected relations, but they are permanently distinct from the territory they describe. If the ultimate source cannot be reduced to an equation, science must focus on the most expansive map we have. To understand the relationship between the source and the shadow, we have to look at gravity. Gravity is the primary way the ECL expresses itself in the physical world. It isn't the totality of the law, but it is the most visible way the law organizes our three dimensions. Gravity functions as a universal geometric stage. It sets the rules that keep matter, energy, and information in a state of equilibrium across the entire universe. We can see this function more clearly by auditing two opposing theoretical attempts to map how gravity actually works. These audits show that gravity's role is to ensure that every physical event remains geometrically and logically coherent. It is the translator between the source and the readout. The first audit examines a discovery that links the area of a black hole's horizon to the laws of thermodynamics. Physicists such as Ted Jacobson and the team of Doro and Much proved that horizon information, energy flux, and space-time curvature are all mathematically equivalent. A common interpretation of this work is that entropy creates gravity. This assumes that information is a substance that manufactures the physical world. The TCGS framework reinterprets this as commutativity. Describing the same event through energy or information must yield the same geometric answer. The Einstein equation is the closure for this agreement. Changing energy forces geometry and information to shift identically, maintaining coherent reality. This is an effective map. It tracks the consistency between shadow observables without claiming to have discovered the absolute substance of reality. Curious problems arise when mapmakers mistake a specific mechanism for the fundamental source. In 1989, H.E. Puthoff proposed that gravity was a side effect of a localized electromagnetic zero-point field. He tried to explain a universal geometric rule through a single physical interaction. A forensic audit reveals circular logic. Puthoff set a cutoff scale using the Newtonian gravity he was trying to derive. By smuggling the Newtonian field into his calibration, gravity was already there at the start. The model failed to prove his electromagnetic carrier applies universally. This provides a negative discriminator. You cannot substitute a carrier-specific shadow field, like electromagnetism, and claim it generates the universal geometry of gravity. This map fails because it attempts to build gravity horizontally out of another shadow component. It ignores the vertical architecture that connects the shadow to its source. These audits point toward a specific conclusion. We have ontological closure, but cartographic openness. We understand the relationship between the source and the shadow, but recognize our mathematical maps will always be unfinished. The absence of a final equation is a structural feature of the universe. A finite map cannot contain the full information of an incommensurable source. Gravity is the physical language that makes our shadow universe mathematically coherent. It is the most complete map we can draw. Mathematics is a powerful tool for navigating the shadow, but it does not replace the origin. The goal of science is to build maps that are increasingly accurate while respecting the boundary of the territory they represent.